Some people think true horror comes from ghosts, but the real nightmare is when ordinary people vanish, see things they can't explain, or survive something that should have been impossible. Tonight, you're not getting one story. You're getting 3 true horror encounters that still haunt the people who lived them. If you think you're safe, just remember, they thought so too. It happened in 2017. A young woman named Kara L., living alone in Colorado, started hearing faint tapping sounds in the ceiling above her bedroom. At first, she ignored it. Old houses creak, pipes expand, the mind plays tricks at night. That's what she told herself. But the sounds got worse. Tap, tap, drag, drag, as if someone was moving above her head, slowly, deliberately. She called maintenance. They checked the attic. Nothing. But Kara began noticing things inside her home, shifting places. Her toothbrush moved, her cereal box left open, her blankets slightly pulled down in the morning. She thought she was losing her mind. Then, one night, around 2:40 a.m., she woke up to the sound of a soft, rhythmic breathing coming from inside her closet. Not the attic, not the walls, her closet. She froze, didn't move, didn't blink. The breathing grew louder, slow, heavy, as if someone was standing just inches away behind the sliding door. Kara ran, bolted out the front door, and called police. What they found was worse than anything she imagined. Inside the attic was a sleeping bag, food wrappers, a bottle filled with urine, and torn pieces of her clothing. Someone had been living there for weeks. Police estimated he came down at night to watch her sleep from the crack of her bedroom door. He entered through an unlocked window and never left. Kara moved out immediately, but she still says that sometimes when she closes her eyes, she remembers the breathing and how close the man came to revealing himself. Some nightmares live above you. Others follow you in the dark. In 2009, a hiker named Michael D. was backpacking in Oregon. He knew the trails well, a quiet place he used whenever life became too stressful. But on this trip, the forest felt different, quieter, heavier, as if the air itself was watching him. On the second night, while eating by the fire, he heard branches snapping behind him. Not animals. The steps were too slow, too intentional. He turned. No one. Later that night, his tent zipper slid halfway down while he was sleeping. Michael shot awake, heart racing. Footsteps ran into the trees. He convinced himself it was a dream, until he saw the footprints the next morning. Bare footprints, a woman's size, leading deeper into the forest. He decided to leave early, but halfway back, a woman appeared between the trees, thin, barefoot, clothes torn, hair wild and tangled like she hadn't seen civilization in years. She stared at him with wide, unblinking eyes, then smiled. A slow, unnatural smile that stretched too far for comfort. Michael froze. He tried speaking, but she tilted her head like she didn't understand speech or didn't care. She took one step toward him, then another, her feet dragging lightly in the soil as if she'd forgotten how to walk. Michael ran, didn't look back. When he returned with rangers the next day, they found evidence someone had been living in a handmade shelter just a mile from where he camped. Inside were piles of bones, animal skins, and strings of hair braided together and hung like decorations. But the woman was never found. Michael never went hiking again. He still hears her voice sometimes in his dreams, even though she never said a word. Some things hide in the forest, but some things appear where you should be safest. In 2013, a traveling nurse named Alicia stayed at a small roadside motel in Nevada. It wasn't her first time there. Cheap, simple, quiet, nothing dangerous. But that night, she couldn't sleep. The room felt wrong, too still, too silent. At 1:19 a.m., someone knocked on her door. Not loud, not aggressive, just steady. Tap, tap, tap. Alicia, a woman's voice, whispered, but she hadn't told anyone her name. She looked through the peephole. No one. Then she backed away. Then the knocking started again, this time from the wall behind the bed. 3 knocks, a long pause, 3 more knocks, like a message. She ran to the front desk. They checked the room next door. It was empty. The front desk worker went pale. "You're in room 17? "Yes." "Ma'am, we sealed that connecting door years ago. There's no one on the other side." Alicia insisted someone was knocking, so maintenance opened the sealed panel. Inside was a narrow crawl space filled with blankets, water bottles, and a small hole carved into the wall, perfectly positioned to watch guests sleep. Someone had been living inside the motel walls for months. Security found fresh footprints, but the person escaped through a rear exit and was never caught. Alicia quit traveling after that. She said the scariest part wasn't the knock, wasn't the voice, but knowing that the person had been inches from her the entire night. If you want more true horror stories like these, subscribe to Shadowpulse. And remember, sometimes the scariest monsters are the ones that breathe quietly right behind your door.